So what's going on guys, Kades here and welcome back to a brand new video. For today I will show you the best Crusader build and leveling guide in Diablo Immortal. So at the start I will explain how to play this class. Then we will look into the best skills and the attributes that you want to use until you reach level 60. And then later we will go over the leveling guide and which gems you want to use on your gear. And then lastly I will show you the best gameplay, so you would know how to get out your abilities, the best damage and supporting effects and much more. So if this sounds interesting to you, then let's get right into it. So the Crusader is a paladin type of class that wants to remove all evil from this world. The Crusader charges forwards on their glorious mission, leading your party with high AoE damage, incredible speed and party-wide buffs. As the Crusader, you will quickly crush groups of weak enemies, as almost every skill at your disposal is very good at AoE based damage. Crusader is a melee and AoE damage based class, with the fastest overall movement speed in the game, because there is an ability that lets you ride a war horse. So not only you can move fast, but your primary attack transforms into a new attack that can do even more damage while being on top of a horse. If damage becomes ever a problem, then Crusader has defensive skills such as Punish for improved block chance or Conjuring of Light to make you and your party invulnerable for a short duration. Crusaders also fill a party role as a scout/tank, dealing AoE damage to monsters, triggering events and pulling enemies together to then use big AoE skills and much more. So then let's move over to the best skills, and I will give you 3 different builds for when you reach level 8, level 15 and level 20. So the best starter build at level 8 is to have Punish, Spinning Shield, Shield Glare, Sweep Attack and Falling Sword. The first ability, called Punish, hits the enemies for damage and you gain a Hardened Sense that increases your block chance by 30% for 2 seconds. Then plus we get an ultimate skill called Counter Attack Storm. So when your ultimate bar is at full, you can activate this ability, and for the next 12 seconds you can strike all enemies in front of you, increasing its damage per hit and increasing its block chance bonus. You also gain a shield that absorbs damage equal to 20% of your maximum HP. Overall, this is amazing primary skill that does damage and most importantly gives you incredible survivability, especially against stronger bosses. Then the second ability is called Spinning Shield, which activates a spinning shield that inflicts bunch of damage all around you. Then later the shield will return to you, pulling enemies in its path. Overall, this is a great ability that deals bunch of AoE damage for up to 3 times. Then the third ability is called Shield Glare, which unleashes a powerful attack that deals damage to all enemies in front of you, and this will cause the enemy to bleed for the next 3 seconds. Overall, this is a decent skill, but very soon we will be replacing this ability with a super cool horse. So then for the fourth ability we have the Sweep Attack, and this ability will sweep a mystical flare through enemies in front of you and dealing damage, but then as well charging the skill will longer increase its range and damage. So then when the ability fully charges, Sweep Attack will also knock the enemies away. Overall, this is a super cool ability that if you can, you want to hold it for a few moments longer to get to the highest damage possible. And then lastly, the fifth ability is called Falling Sword, and the skill impels your holy sword at the location, where it deals damage for over 5 seconds to all nearby enemies. You have the option to activate the skill again, to launch yourself into the heavens or come crashing down, dealing damage to all nearby enemies and retrieving the sword. Overall, this ability offers a lot of extra AoE damage, and in the endgame it will become even more powerful. So then moving over to the next milestone, which is level 15. And at this level we still want to use the same build, but just this time we switch out the Shield Glare for Jav and Quarter. So Jav and Quarter skill lets you ride the war horse for 6 seconds, removing all movement impairing effects, then as well increasing your movement speed by 65% and replacing your primary attack with a strike. Overall, as you can tell, this skill is essential to playing this class, because when you activate this ability, this is the time when Crusaders does the highest damage possible, so you get a huge movement speed buff and your primary skill gets changed for a very cool strike skill that you can use and do a bunch of damage. And then lastly, when we reach level 20, we want to switch out the Sweep Attack for Consecration skill. So Concentration enchants the ground around you, dealing damage to all nearby enemies over 6 seconds. Overall, this is one of the best AoE damage abilities in Diablo Immortal, and this skill can wipe out huge amount of enemies. So then let's go over to the best Crusader attributes, and in general, while you're leveling and playing the game, you will find equipment. My recommendation is to never leave a single item on the floor, so pick up everything, and the things that you don't need, just salvage for more materials. So at the start you will encounter white, blue, yellow and orange items. As you can tell, white items are the worst quality and orange aka the legendary items are the best. So as you level, you want to go from white to blue to yellow and then lastly to full legendary. The way you build up attributes and stats for your class is by equipping gear with the specific attributes that you want to get. In total, there are 5 primary attributes in the game. All of them provide one offensive and defensive rating for each point you have. So any attribute that you get will always make you stronger, but these attributes are not equally calculated for each class. So Barbarian will get more damage out of strength, while Wizard will get more out of intelligence and much more. So the main attribute that you want to get for Crusader is strength. And then secondary attribute is fortitude. The way you achieve this is by using equipment that either way has strength or fortitude. And for weapons, you first of all want to prioritize how much damage it does, and then secondary the attribute. And then lastly, another great way to become more powerful is by upgrading your equipment. So what you want to do is go to the blacksmith and spend all of your salvaged materials. Don't worry about wasting materials on upgrading bad equipment, because you can transfer upgrades for free. Even if you end up salvaging upgraded equipment, you will receive 100% of the invested resources as a refund. So every time that you are in a town, remember to come back to the blacksmith and upgrade all of your yellow and orange equipment to at least rank 6. So then moving over to the gems, and you can find normal and legendary gems to further increase the power of your character. So during the Crusader's leveling process, simply equip normal gems that you can find from hidden layers, prioritizing pink aka the tourmaline gem that gives you more damage. Then second of all, get the blue gem aka the sapphire for more armor penetration. And then lastly, get the yellow gem aka the topaz that will give you all resistance increase. And then lastly, for the second category, we have the legendary gems, which I would recommend to only use for the best gear that you have, and of course after level 60. So a good starter legendary gem is the Everlasting Torment that deals incredible damage over time after a critical hit. For a simple 1-star gem, this is very powerful. Then the second option is the Fervent Fang that does fantastic single target damage. You can easily get it from the battle pass, so you don't have to rely on luck. And then lastly, we have the third option called the Lightning Core that does incredible direct damage to an enemy, often wiping them out in the process. While the gem is infrequent, it's very useful for taking down larger targets. So then let's move over to the leveling guide. And in Diablo Immortal, leveling up is a journey that you can approach with your own playstyle. The primary way that you level is by going through the main storyline and completing each and every zone's quest. Once you reach a new area, you may encounter a message that says you must reach X level before continuing. So then there are 2 ways that you can level. The best way to level up, not counting the main quest and storyline, is to advance your battle pass. 2 ways that you can do that is by running dungeons without stopping and only salvaging items when your bag is at full. Or then the second best way is if you don't feel like spending your entire time in a dungeon, then you can complete every task and hidden layer that you see while doing main quests. And these hidden layers are random caves that you can enter and complete for easy gems, rewards and experience. So then let's go over a few tips and tricks that you need to keep in mind while leveling. Early on in the battle pass, you can choose one legendary for your class. I recommend taking the passive of the 10 wings, because it makes one of your most important skills even more powerful. Then remember to find better equipment for your character. Your bag flashes when you pick better items, so keep an eye for that while leveling. Then as well, keep upgrading your equipment at the blacksmith. I recommend to turn on auto pickup for all types of items in the settings, and once in a while return to the town to salvage. Then don't forget that a lot of times, leveling could become a walking simulator, so to move around the map a lot faster, keep using the jaw and quarter skill to use a warhorse for incredible movement speed. And then lastly, you want to unlock Heliquary at level 41. The Heliquary is a unique addition to Diablo Immortal. It's a great source of offensive and defensive rating increase that becomes even more important after level 60. So at around level 41, you should be able to unlock it by completing Bilifin, then follow your quest to the West March, and there you can unlock the Heliquary, so you can start receiving the Squarry resource from your daily bounties as soon as possible. So as this is a Crusader guide till level 60, I will end the video at this last feature, which is the paragon system. So you start gaining paragon levels after hitting level 60. Each level grants you 1 paragon point that you can allocate into any open category. In total there are 5 categories, and each one gives you more defense, XP bonuses and much more. So then for your Crusader, right after you reach max level and start gaining paragon levels, you want to put your points into the Vanquisher category and spend your first 5 points into the damage node, then spend your 6 point into the zeal node, and then from here I will make a specific video on what you want to do for your endgame Crusader build. So now let's go over a few tips and tricks that will help you out as a Crusader. Crusaders excel at AoE damage, but are often outdamaged by other classes at single target damage, so in groups you will be mainly playing the scout/support role. A lot of times as well, leveling can be very slow, so to move around the map a lot faster, keep using the draw and quarter skill to ride a horse for super high mobility. Then most importantly, don't forget to turn auto pickup in general settings, so you would be able to pick up everything from the ground, and then once in a while you can come back to the town and salvage everything. And then as well, like I mentioned, keep upgrading your gear as often as possible, because this will help you out in clearing faster dungeons. And then lastly and most importantly, when you reach level 60, don't forget to come back to my channel to find the best endgame Crusader build, and that's about it. So with that said, I really do appreciate everyone for watching guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feedback or other good Diablo Immortal classes that you would like to see in the next video, then feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe and enable that notification bell, so this way you could support the channel and you won't miss any more amazing content from me. With all this said, you have a nice day and I will see you in my next video, so take it easy, peace.